my channel. This is Trini Lovely. I've been missing for a few months now. So I wanted to make a video today because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. And the conversation was actually based on submission. He said one of the reasons a lot of females don't have anyone is because they're not submissive. And I said, but what do you consider submission? Because submission to me is a bit different from what you may think is submission, right? Because what do you consider submission, right? One of the reasons a lot of people relationships and a lot of people marriage fail to me is because a lot of people don't understand the role of masculinity and femininity, right? A lot of people don't understand what's the role, right? And when I'm talking about the role, I'm not talking about estrogen and testosterone. I'm not talking about the role of me being a woman and you being a man. I'm talking about the role of an energy, right? I'm talking about the energy of a balance that you may have within that marriage or within that relationship to be successful. And I think a lot of people don't understand what it is when you say submission, because before I even got married, before I even met my husband, I've been in other relationships before where I would get up and I would, make breakfast, I would clean, I will cook. Isn't that some kind of form of submission? To some men liking, right? Some men would say, a lot of females are not submissive, and they will talk about referencing, a woman just basically taking care of the household duties. But when I talk about submission, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth of that balance, that equal balance that both parties need to have, because a lot of reasons why relationships suffer, it's a lot of selfish desire, right? And we could walk through the park on this, right? Like, we could go for a long walk through the park of going in of why I reference selfish desire, of why relationships actually suffer, right? If a man cheats or a woman cheats, right, they have a reason behind that cheat, right? A lot of times a guy would be like, well, I'm cheating based on you constantly arguing with me. I'm cheating on you because you wasn't spending enough time with me, right? Some females will say that. I'm cheating on you because, you're not sexual enough, right? I'm cheating on you because, you wasn't there for me. So it's always about, I'm cheating based on things that had to do to that, about that individual that got them to that level where they want to step out of the relationship and actually start, building a relationship with someone else, right? So a lot of times the cheating starts by selfish desire, by wanting something and not looking at the overall principle behind of how far they're willing to actually overstep a boundary, how far they actually to be unloyal to the partner that they have, right? A lot of times people cheat and don't think about the repercussions, don't think about the circumstances, don't think about the fact that they are hurting that person. They don't think about the fact that, they may lose that person. So it's a lot of selfish desire. So when it comes down to saying relationships fail, and a lot of reasons why females don't have that relationship is based on submission, I don't really think that plays into a role, because you hear females come up all the time on social media and she will be like, let me tell you how to keep a man. And she will go into and break down a whole definition on being over sexual, like, eating this, licking this, doing that, flipping handstand, doing all kind of crazy shit, right? And she'll be like, yeah, you need to do oral every day and that's how you keep a man. That is not how you keep a man. You can't keep a man on your lowest chakra, right? We got to be thinking on our crown chakra, right? So we can't keep a man based on, oh, I'm actually, gonna do everything in the bed, because that don't make him desire you. And most of the times when you see a female come up there, let me tell you how to keep a man, and I'm telling you how to keep a man, she don't even got a ring. So you wasn't even selected, right? So no man, whether you wanted to lick booty, eat booty, whatever the hell you wanted to do, did not put a ring on it based on the fact that you were doing all these extra stuff in the bedroom. Now, I'm not telling anybody to do whatever in the bedroom, but I'm telling you, don't think with your lowest chakra. Because submission doesn't have anything to do with you saying, you know what, I'm being submissive. I need to bring an extra woman in bed because my husband wants to have a threesome, or my girlfriend wants to have a threesome, or my boyfriend wants to have a threesome. That has nothing to do with submission. Again, that has to do with a sexual desire that you are trying to fulfill, your fantasy, where it's against it is again it's basically on your needs, on yourself, right? Because if we talk about masculine roles and we talk about feminine roles and we talk about the feminine energy and we talk about masculine energy, it's a balance, right, of us knowing our roles. And I think that's where it plays into a problem in people's relationship. I think a lot of people don't understand what's their roles. I think a lot of people don't understand, what role they should be playing. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit specifics right here, and I'm going to specify some things that people do go through in relationships and then go back into the whole submission, right? A man will tell you, and I'm not going to say every man, I'm going to say some men, and some women do have experience like this, right? They will tell you, okay, I want you to cook and clean for me, and that female may get up and cook and clean, right? But that female may also be sometimes a breadwinner, right? And sometimes it will be a relationship where there's no balance. And when I say no balance, is because his masculine role, he has not stepped into the role of leadership, right? Sometimes there's relationships where that guy don't work. Yeah, I said it. He doesn't work, right? And when that woman come home from work, she see him playing video games and she see him hanging out with his friends, and all day is gone by where he doesn't cook nor clean. Or if he does cook or clean, it's still that he's content with the lifestyle that he's living, where he's okay with just getting up every day, smoking and drinking and chilling and hanging out with his buddies, or however terminology you may want to use it. And this woman works. But then this will be the same guy sometimes who will turn around and say, well, you're not submissive to me. Well, let's start about the roles that you have to play in order for this submission to feel like an equal balance, where there's a homeostasis between the two, right? Your woman is stepping into the role of a leadership role, where she should not be in that masculine energy, where she should not be the provider. I said it. She should not be the provider if you are the leader, right? So you have this woman in the masculine role, right? Leading and providing and supporting and taking care. And some women may even have kids, right? And she's out there hustling and bustling, making the money, going to work. And then she comes back in and here you are playing a video game. Then the conversations could go into, yo, what's going on with the job? Did you get a job today? And then then the whole argument could escalate just based on the fact that you did not step into that masculine role. Like, your masculine role is a role of being a provider, right? You're the security. You're the person that takes the head and she takes the tail, or better yet, the neck, right? If you're going to be basing your analogy on submission of why the relationship actually falls apart, you also have to remember there's a role that you play, right? You can't be a masculine energy and have your woman stepping into that masculine energy, because then guess what's going to happen? She's not going to respect you, right? There's going to be a level of no respect in that relationship, because then she's gonna feel like you're one of the kids. And I'm gonna be honest, she's gonna look at you as you're one of the kids. So that that balance, that respect, it's not going to be there. So in order for you to actually take full control, that leadership role should be there. That leadership role of steering you into the right directions, right? You can't be with a female who is going to take that leadership role and steer the whole relationship in a direction and then say, I need you to be submissive, because you picked the woman that actually has that mind frame of knowing what she wants. She knows what she wants. She knows where she's going. And here you still trying to figure out life, where you're still with your buddies every day. You're still smoking. You're still drinking. You're still having a wonderful time. You don't want to go to work. You don't want to do anything. You're not sacrificing to actually put your family first, but you're putting your selfish desire first. Again, you're thinking on your lowest chakra. You're not on your highest chakra, right? You're not on your crown. You're not looking at it as, I have a family. I need to make sure my family is good. I need to provide for me and my family, right? Now, we're not going to only single out that masculine energy. Females, we play a major role as well, right? There's a lot of females that condone that, right? She condones the fact that that man is not working, in a way of having that control, right? She, is okay with coexisting in that relationship where she feels that she has that upper hand in the relationship, where she's the one who's the breadwinner. So now she kind of feels like, she had that relationship under control. So, if he wants to drive the car now, guess what? He got to come and ask her to drive the car, right? And if he wants money, guess what? She's the one providing that money, providing that clothes, providing everything, because he's not working. So there's a lot of females that will actually be that, I'll let you drive my car. Oh, you could come here and stay here. You ain't got to pay no bills. You don't got to do this. You don't got to do that. And in her head, she has that kind of control where she's looking at it like, I'm setting the pace of this relationship. But that also is going to be in a way where you're not allowing this guy to step into the masculine role. Again, that relationship will not balance, because again, you're being selfish. You don't want to see the growth of that man. You don't want that man to rise, because once that man rise, you don't have that control over that man anymore. So we got to really sit down and think about, when we talk about submission, what are we talking about? Because a lot of times people want you to submit to things that they're desiring. I'm okay with having submission and being submissive, as far as if you're going to lead me in the direction where I don't have to take that steering wheel sometime when I see that you're driving me off the cliff, and grab that steering wheel and then drive us back onto the road. I'm okay with stepping into the role of that feminine energy, as the nurturer, as the carer, the giver, the person who, take care of the household, and actually, meet the needs of financially, because we live in a totally different time, right? We live in a time where a lot of partners do work, and in the modern day, people, a lot of women are not stay-at-home moms anymore. They got businesses, they got jobs, they do a lot of things. So I can submit even though I go to work. I can submit even though I do that. But again, submission plays in a role where I have to know that you're going to take that leadership role. I know that your best interest is for us, not for yourself, right? I know that, when you make decisions, you're taking what I say into accountability, and you're not making decisions without me. You're not going into the bank account and cleaning me out to buy yourself a new car without confiding into me first. I'm okay with taking a submission role, but submission, a lot of time people don't understand the roles that they have to play. Now, I grew up in a 2-family household. My dad was there, my mom's was there, and they raised us, okay? So I grew up in a household where I had my dad. And when I looked at my dad, I saw my dad providing. Okay, so my mother was never there to say, he had to get up and go take care and direct him onto a job. She didn't have to do that. He knew that at the end of the day, whether they had the best marriage or not, he knew that he had a family to take care of. He knew that his role and his job was not to put that burden on my mother, but actually take that responsibility to make sure that we can make a way, because he was the man in the household and he made the decisions as the man in the household. He actually wanted to be that dominance in the household because he wanted to really lead. And my mom stepped back and made him lead, right? So that's submission, right? So she's submissive to the fact that he's taking that leadership role. And I feel like when a lot of times people will talk about, you know, you're not submissive, right? And these are some people will use that in a way of manipulation. You can't tell me you want me to be submissive, right? Submissive, and then you don't want to come home, right? You want to be out with your buddies and coming in 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You can't tell me that you want me to be submissive and you're only looking out for yourself, but you're not looking out for the family. You can't tell me that you want to be submissive and it's only about you and the guys hanging out every single day, but it's not about you making sure that you and your family is good. So there's a lot of reasons why when you're in a relationship, you have to figure out the role that you're going to step into. What role are you going to play as the woman, as the feminine energy? And then you also have to look at that man and say, what role is this man going to play as the masculine energy? Because if I have to get married, or I am married, or if I'm in a relationship and I need him to take the lead, can he take the lead? Does he have a vision? Is he going somewhere in life? Does he have ambition? Am I going to be the one doing it on my own? And I think so many times, so many women, they just want to get married. They want to get into relationships. They just want to be with somebody. They want to have a companion. They don't sit down to think about, if I'm supposed to give up the leadership role as a single woman and enter into a relationship with a man, and he's not working, and he's not working at all, and he's fine with not working, or he's fine with not trying to elevate himself, what troubles are we going to face in life with me trying to guide him and show him different directions? Is he open-minded enough to take that direction from me? And a lot of people don't sit back to think about these things, right? A lot of people just want to get into relationships. They want to get into to be with a companion, and that's fine. You know, we are human. We want to have a companion. But when you're talking about submission, you got to talk about realistically the real things that really happens in a day-to-day relationship, real things that sometimes may happen into marriage. So if you want to have a woman to submit to you, you have to provide the necessary structure. You have to take the role as the man, right? The provider, the person who's supportive, right? The person who's willing to accept and take correction, because sometimes you can be a leader, but you always need a team, right? When you're watching football and that leadership role and they're running a play, he needs everyone on the team to make that play. So that's the same thing when it goes into a relationship. You need that female or that man to be on board, right? You can't expect someone to be on board if you're not running the play, right? If you're not communicating, if you're not sitting down and telling this person, this is the play, this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna structure our life, this is the vision, this is where I'm trying to go in 5 years, this is where I'm trying to go in 10 years, this is the future, this is how I want it to play out, and not actually taking the necessary steps to get there, then you're going to have a problem with the significant other that you choose. So we really have to sit back and think about, what is our role as masculine energy, what is our role as feminine energy, and then really sit back and think about, it's a give and a take in a relationship. In every relationship, there's a give and a take, right? Sometimes you got to give, sometimes you got to take. So if you're going to be with somebody who's unfair, that's not willing to give but only wants to receive, then you already done know you're going to have that issue, and you're going to be facing a lot of more problems in the relationship as other people's relationship, because that person that you pick to be with has to be able to understand that it's not about you only, it's not about him only, it's about both of you guys being pleased and being satisfied and getting your needs met, right? One person needs cannot only be met all the time. That relationship will not balance. So on my own interpretation, submission does not play a role when it comes down to the reason why so many females are not getting into a relationship. It really plays with understanding the role that you have to play as a woman, understanding the role that you have to play as a man, and being able to communicate and understand each other and working through your problems, your issues, and communication is how you make your relationship work. And thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe and, stay safe.